Hey there!
Hey there.
Hey there.
Welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits, coming to you from the Recycle Garage in sunny, humid Santa Cruz, California, USA. And we have got an action-packed show. I know the first question out of everyone's lips, this ain't Liza. Well, if you were a follower of the show, you would know that Liza, also known as Fearless Leader, is in Pakistan right now.
That's why we're all naked right now.
Right. Hopefully
For once, we finally can.
she hasn't been eaten by a llama or anything.
Or a Furby.
Not yet.
No, it looks like they're having a really, really good time. So, without further ado, let's get to who is in the studio. As always, running the board, Stumpy John.
Hey, everybody. And I just want to say, hey, it's September 11th. So remember, but
Yes.
also, move
Yeah.
forward. So
No,
thinking about
exactly.
everyone who lost their lives that day.
Yeah,
This day.
it is. God. So, wait a minute. 21 years.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Good
Generation.
Lord. Anyway, who else do we have in the studio? Matt from
Breaking the Wind.
Fresh off my Furby convention.
Yeah, oh God. Were you a trash panda or a squirrel, darling?
Well, you have to find out.
I like the giraffe idea.
Matt's a regular on the show. We all know him. Breaking Away Motorcycle Adventures and Law Tigers. They're great. Who else do we have in the studio? It's Craig from Pacific Motorcycle Training.
Good evening.
Oh, good evening. Good radio voice, darling. In the corner, in his usual spot, looking very handsome. Also wearing a Breaking Away Motorcycle Adventure shirt. Set Naked Jim.
Yes. I wish I was cool as everybody else. I'm just Naked Jim from around the block. That's all I am.
Oh, there's nothing uncool
But
about
great
you.
to be here.
And, as always, joining us from his villain's lair in deepest Oregonia, it's Bagel.
Greetings.
Wow. Smoking
The
another one,
smoky
Bagel.
Pacific Northwest.
Yes. Yeah, what's happening in your neck of the woods, Bagel? I mean, are you on fire, darling, or have you just been smoking some very good shit?
Well, I'm not on fire, but there is a fire that's about 60 miles or so east of here. That's a really big one that's getting out of control. We got blanketed in smoke for about a day and a half until about last night when the winds changed.
Oh,
but
blimey. Well, I'll tell you
but
what
yeah.
is out of control is your collection, darling.
nah,
Yeah. What do you have to say about that, eh?
no comment.
So, no, it's a great show tonight. It's never the same when Liza's away, is it? It really isn't. But
No.
we have got lots to talk about tonight, so we better get stuck in. God, it was a busy day.
It was. Lots of people here.
Yeah.
Lots of people here. Jim opened with me at 11.
Yes, on the nose with a white box. And good things come in white box.
Yes, they do.
Boxes. Yes.
Donuts.
Lots of good donuts.
And unfortunately, for a little while, it was just me and Jim and the donuts.
Great way to start
Oh,
a
I got
Sunday.
sugared out, but it is a great way to start a Sunday. Then people
Absolutely.
showed up,
Yeah.
and I seem to have spent a lot of time going from station to station saying, do this, do this, do this, do this.
There was a variety of things also.
God, there was a lot of interesting things going on.
Cheers to the young man who had to do fork seals for showing up early.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because there was another young man that showed up late to do front end suspension. I
Right.
think they had two different experiences.
They had very
well, they both kind of sucked, but
Yeah, they did and they didn't. Brendan showed up with his V-Strom.
yeah, 650.
650 V-Strom, great bike to do fork seals. Showed up early, and you know he's pretty capable. He's come a long way. Brendan showed up at the garage a couple of years ago with a very, very mangled little KTM 390.
I remember that. Yes.
Yeah, and the front end was bent like a pretzel. And he said, oh, the insurance has totaled it and I don't know what to do. And I said, well, let's go onto eBay and see what a whole front end costs. Because, you know, these are very popular race bikes. We found a complete, brand new front end. triple trees, fork leg, everything for about $300. I said, just buy it.
Yeah.
And then the following week, he arrived again with the bike and the front end. We just switched it out in a day. He rode home. Anyway, he is now on a very leaky-deaky V-Strom 650. So he stripped down the front end and just kind of ran out of time. And in fact, there was a little bit of damage on one of the fork legs.
Well, wasn't that the issue? Like one of the
kind of.
He's going to order a new one?
So we found a used one on eBay that looked in great condition.
Was somebody jamming a screwdriver in there?
Yeah, and just people do all kinds of janky stuff to them. So we found a good condition one on eBay for like $100 with a bent tube. Yeah. But we don't need the tube because his tube's great. So we'll do that and finish off the job next week. And then William showed up with his Super Glide front end, and he just pulled the forks out, but he was doing an upgrade in it. And my God, those things were stiff.
Is that right?
Oh, God, it was like squeezing a brick.
Was he able to? He had to get like a long Allen wrench to get out.
Yeah, we made something. The best tools are the ones you make.
So how did you do it? So you needed like what, like a 6-inch Allen wrench?
No, it wasn't that long. It was about 3 inch long. Okay. So I kind of dismantled. Yes, something funny.
No, it was Craig's face. Craig's face.
What describe? Well, no, I mean, it's a guy thing, I think, isn't it? Describing us a foot as 3 inches, or 3 inches a foot. Anyway,
we all got quiet. We're all like,
see,
not me.
Guilty consciences talking.
The other guy.
No, but I actually dismantled a driver and just made it long enough that he could actually use it and use a torque wrench on it, and that came out great.
Cool.
And then we resurrected. Well, I thought it was a GZ250 that was arriving, and it wasn't.
Was that the TU?
It was a DU.
That thing was really cool.
We've been looking for one of those for the school for a long time. They're hard to find.
I tell you what, the big plus for me with that bike, Craig, is fuel injected.
Yeah.
No more carburetor nonsense because...
Burn all the GZs.
Well... The G's, yes.
The jizz bombs.
I have a question because it had, I think, old gas, but not terribly old gas. So we know what old gas can do to a carburetor. What does old gas do to fuel injection? Same thing. You end up with
pretty much
injectors?
the same thing.
Okay.
You've got to be careful with it, and you've got to be careful what you do. I was kind of lazy with that bike because normally, if I get a fuel injected bike in with really disgusting old gas, you drain all the gas. You pull all the fuel lines off, you pull the fuel injector off, and then you squirt a load of brake cleaner. And when you take it out, if it's really gummy, because sometimes they look like, and they're all covered in gum, you can actually get a little square 9-volt battery and jump them and open them. And they'll go click, and they'll open. Then you can squirt.
Really?
Yeah, brake cleaner through them.
I was curious about that because, it seemed like it was a little star for fuel.
Well,
but
the
it was just
reason
star
why
for
I was
attention,
being lazy because the fuel actually wasn't bad; it had just gone a bit stale.
Yeah.
So I didn't pull the fuel line off, and we had to get through the fuel that was in the fuel line. So it took a little bit of starting,
Yeah, okay.
but once it was on the fresh gas, it was great.
Great, what a great bike!
But no, I mean, GZs are solid little bikes, but dear God, those carburetors are woeful on them. And of course, I take care of a lot of GZ 250s for Pacific motorcycle training.
You do.
And they do have quite hard lives, don't they, Craig?
I wouldn't want to be one.
I got to tell you this, nothing crashes like a GZ. Actually, something does crash like a GZ 250. A 125 Eliminator. Those bikes crash heavily.
Oh gosh,
You're not having a lot of crashes though during training, I would hope.
More than you'd think.
Well, no, if you think about it, people are learning.
drops, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I had a
Mostly
drop
drops.
through training once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do.
I mean, you're still getting used to something that weighs, even the smallest bike is 350 pounds, which is still a lot of weight. And if you've never ridden a bike before and you're still learning the friction zone and everything, the chances are you're gonna crunch.
Yeah. I almost did because I didn't think about putting the kickstand down just because you're like, well, whatever, bicycle, you can hop off. You don't need to put the kickstand down.
But
Anyway.
I think it's a testament to those guys that as many drops as they have, there's very, very few injuries because I know you make sure people are wearing the right gear and they're constantly supervised because you get people who've literally never moved a motorcycle under its own propulsion before, right?
Most people, yeah.
And I think it's a testament to how well organized it is, and the strength of your instructors that you don't get more injuries. It's just the bikes that get smashed up, and this just destroyed piece of thing ends up in my workshop, and
like an old gladiator.
We give it to the magician.
Yeah, just fix it.
Magic happens in that shop.
Well, it is a magic shop.
So anyway, we did the TU.
There was other janky repair work that raised its ugly head today. That Honda, was it the 500?
Oh yes, it got
the oil leak,
peeing everywhere. And well, number one,
the CB,
yes,
500 was
CB 500X, and those things are normally quite reliable. Yeah. So when I saw that come in on the back of the truck, I'm like, oh dear. But that was absolutely hurling oil out from the valve cover gasket. So
was it a bad gasket install, or was it too full of oil? Or?
I'm not even going to take that chance, because to get to the gasket, you've got to dismantle all this frigging bodywork. And so I said, look, there's the cost of the gasket, there's the cost of the pucks, and it was like $30 for everything. Just buy the stuff and we'll do it next week. So I sent him on his merry way. Plus, it had a quart too much oil in it, which doesn't help.
A quart?
So the engine's like...
Well, you haven't seen anything. You've seen Emma rip a wiring harness out of a vintage Triumph. Jim and I are sitting there, and all of a sudden...
At the end of the day...
It's like, wow.
There goes the wiring.
Well, so the 69 Triumph arrived, and the owner's been having multiple electrical problems. And just sticking Band-Aid after Band-Aid after Band-Aid on it. And the problem is, you're dealing with, number one, a wiring harness that's 55 years old to start with. Mm-hmm. Then on top of that, probably 50 years of extremely janky repairs. Mm-hmm. And I said, look, we need a good What is that dog doing?
What dogs do?
We've got this little black dog in the studio right now who appears to be digging a the rug.
She's making herself comfortable.
Well, they're good, as she should.
Which dog is that?
That's Eunice.
Eunice. Bad Eunice.
It's breaking away Eunice.
Yes. So you've got a 55-year-old wiring harness to start with. And I was explaining this. Was it to you, Jim, or somebody else? About
maybe someone else.
It was somebody else, and saying, why are Lucas wiring considered so bad? And they did get a bad rap. But the biggest problem with Lucas Electrics, all the connections were mechanical. They were crimped connections. And so they were very susceptible to moisture, very susceptible to
Is that what came
corrosion.
on the stock bike?
Yes.
Okay.
And very susceptible to vibration. And British bikes do vibrate a bit, you know. So anyway, I said to this fellow, look, we need a good foundation. And you can buy genuine wiring harnesses for this bike, not expensively. So for $150, he got this beautiful, spanking new wiring harness, which is going to fit like a glove. And it was right at the end of the day. So I said, look, let's strip the old wiring harness off, cut everything off, and we'll start from scratch next week. And he's got the harness, so it's going to work out really... That's going to clean up really well, that bike.
Oh, good for him.
And that was kind of at the end of the day. And other than that, Raymond showed up.
Yes, on something different.
Yeah.
On his Vespa 300.
Yes.
Great color.
Was it the
Oh, it was a
Great
good
color.
color,
Yeah, it was
wasn't
a great color.
What do you... Blood orange?
Had a top case,
Yeah,
too.
like a blood or a fire
Yeah.
orange. It
yeah.
wasn't fireman.
Would you call it candy? Like a candy
Yeah.
blood orange?
Yeah, it's a little bit of pearl in it.
Pigeon blood.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Very nice.
It's a 300
He looked good on it.
GTS, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, no, it was
cheers to Raymond.
It was
That's cool.
a good day.
Awesome.
And it was far busier.
Oh, and you helped me get the FC1 sorted finally.
Oh, finally.
Yeah. Little stator and rotators.
$5 bearing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, FC1s are peculiar. They, like their cousins, the R1s, they suffer terribly from alternator problems. And it's a variety of problems. It's not just burning out alternators, it's outrigger bearings and everything. We did an alternator on your bike.
We did, and the outrigger bearing.
But we just did the outrigger bearing because it was getting a little bit howly, wasn't it?
It was making a little bit of a noise, and we pulled it out today. And I think a couple
Tiniest
of bearings
bearing.
were just kind of melted, and then there were some curly cues of metal kind of in there as
Always
well.
a bad sign.
Yeah. So glad I stopped when I did.
Yeah, and that's the key. So if your bike
yeah.
starts making a peculiar sound,
It is true, though. I think if you ride a lot, you know all the sounds, and any little sound that you notice different, it's worth paying attention to because something is changing. You know. Anyway.
so
But yeah, thank you for
all
that.
in all, it was a great day.
Great
We
day.
did a lot. There were tons of people hanging out.
And Traffic Iron Man was here today.
God.
Iron Man
Oh,
Triathlon.
I don't even want to talk about that. The traffic was
I
just
don't know how I didn't get
gruesome.
any of that.
You must have slipped
Good
through.
timing.
I
Yeah.
must have.
I don't even know what an Iron Man is.
70.
I-
Had a baby.
I think
You
he
can just look right
flies-
here and it's me.
flies around in a red and gold suit, I suppose.
It's an outdated
Take my
term.
pants off.
Yes. Okay.
Anyway, yeah,
Very-
busy day though. A lot of people. It was fun. Oh, and Ellie sold her bike, so
Oh,
she'll be
yes.
transitioning into a new motorcycle.
She hasn't bought anything yet?
No.
She had to sell this one.
Yeah.
There was the VTX. What do they call
Yeah.
that thing? What-
VTX, it's not a furry. It was the short fork version
Interstate?
of Interstate.
Interstate.
I keep calling it a state line.
You called it a furry.
Yeah, how's it a furry?
No, the furries are the ones with the long forks.
Yeah.
Honda Furry.
Oh, Fury.
Furious.
The factory chopper. It's Honda Furry.
Yeah, so she
And you
sold
would be
that.
surprised how upset the owners get when you call them that. 'Cause you're like, oh, you got a Honda Furry.
Well,
They're like,
especially that
it's a Fury.
that hard tattooed dude from Fresno that bought it, which is pretty funny because you have Ellie who owned it, who was probably a good 2 feet taller than him.
Yeah, but he was all right. He was stocky.
He was stocky.
And you know what? He didn't beat up Ellie at all on the price, and he was such a nice young man. And he came all the way from Fresno.
Yeah,
so I said,
Nice.
that's a
hey
good
man,
sign.
if you ever find yourself in town, give me a call. I'll give you a service on the house.
Yeah.
And it just so happens his dad lives in Monterey, so
Oh, cool.
I'll give him a service. You know.
And I think Ellie, which I think is awesome, is looking at a Versus 650.
Yeah, that's a great
which will
bike for her.
serve her. It'll change her whole
cool.
life. Yeah, go
Right.
from that huge cruiser to that.
Absolutely. So that is our day. A brilliant day. I want to do a ride report, and it's going to be a good ride report, but a couple of items of news I would like. It's the news. Yes. The Queen died.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The Queen is dead.
God
Long
save-
live
God save the king.
King Charles III. And it's funny, a lot of people have been asking me about it. And saying,
Isn't there a
can
Sex
this-
Pistols song about all this?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Johnny Rotten, he was actually quite gracious.
He
at the
was.
end. But no, I was actually quite unnerved by it. And not least because the Queen has always been there. And, you know, she was already an established monarch when I rolled off the production line in 1962. She's already been on the throne for 10 years, so she's always been there. And she's on the money and everything. So, you know, if you unbelt a £5 note, there's the Queen looking back at you.
And she looks great.
No, well, she did.
not at the moment, but
Not at the moment. But so, yes.
And she was a motorcyclist.
She loved just engines. She just loved engines. Anything to do. She loved her Jags. In fact, it's a very, very brief story. So, I think about 10, maybe 15 years ago, I'd blown up one of my Jags, and I was looking for a new one. And I've always had black XJs, so I thought, look, I had an 84 black XJ6. I'll look for another one. And it was around August. And, of course, Meekum were having the auctions down in Monterey. And everyone think the Monterey auctions during Car Week are very, very high-end stuff. They have a bit of everything.
Yeah,
You know,
I've
they've got
watched
cheaper
those. Yeah,
cars.
it's kind of interesting.
And lo and behold, there was a black XJ6. And I looked, and I thought, that is in very, very nice condition. I'm going to bid on that. And I thought, I don't mind spending, I'll spend 10 grand on it because it's, I'll get so many years use out of it. So I started bidding on this thing and it went to 5 grand, 6 grand, 7 grand, 8 grand, 10 grand.
Who are you bidding against?
Oh, just random people.
Okay.
I'm waiting
Then
for the Queen to come in. This.
Well, and then it went to 15, then it went to 20, then it went to 30, 40, 50. And I'm like, this is just a Jag XJ6. What the hell? So I open up the brochure and there's a picture of the friggin' Queen driving it.
No.
It was one of her personal cars.
Oh my gosh.
And in the end, it changed hands for like $60,000.
Wow.
$6,000 car worth 10 times as much because it was part of the Queen's fleet.
So you didn't buy it?
Does it have secret buttons, like a button you can push and launch somebody out of the seat and all that
Presumably
kind of
so. I think there was a special button on the dash so she could summon James Bond.
Yes.
So it's the JB button.
The button.
You press the J and James Bond just magically appears.
I heard it.
Can I help your Majesty?
I heard a story. I think it was on Bill Maher and talking about the Queen and how recently she had a visit from the King of Saudi Arabia, and she tells the King they're out on their property in Scotland. And she says, "Let's go for a ride." So they walk out to the Land Cruiser, the old school Land Cruiser that she had, and she jumps in the driver's seat and 87 years old. And the King is like, "Oh my God," and just like ran him through the fields on this 4x4. And she loved her cars, man. She was badass.
Yeah, and held a motorcycle license, largely from the Second World War. But anyway,
she was a mechanic in the Second World War.
Yep. Yeah, truck mechanic. Motorbike news, though, because we are a motorbike podcast. Honda have reintroduced the Transalp.
I know.
Yes.
Wow.
Now,
Super cool.
for those who are slightly younger and don't know what a Transalp is, it started off life as a 600V twin. In fact, we did a history hole on the Africa Twins only a couple of weeks ago. And the Transalp was kind of like a mini-sized Africa Twin. It was an odd bike. It was an adventure bike before the term was coined. And it was right around the early 80s and very much loved by all its owners. And never really sold particularly well. Well, anyway, Honda have reintroduced it. And, God, it looks good.
Oh, yeah.
I love the look of the original one, too.
Yeah. And you know who they're after, don't you? 10700.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's an absolute head-to-head with a Tenere 700. And knowing how well the Africa Twin has sold, because the Africa Twin and the Super 10 are every inch competitor, even though the Africa Twin's considerably cheaper. I think Honda are onto an absolute winner with this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the 700 Tenere is great. You sit on it, it feels nimble. Yeah, it's a great market, too, because the big adventure bikes are big and heavy.
Right.
And 1,000 cc's is a lot. I mean, 750 is plenty of power for all that. Yeah, I think it's a great market. Cool bike. I would totally consider one.
So, I mean, traditionally, unfortunately, in America, we always get things last. So, fingers crossed, number one, we'll get it. I think it'd be a huge mistake on Honda's part if we don't get it. But it's going to be launched in Europe.
Is it 600 or 750?
750.
No, I think actually it's 700.
Oh.
I think it's a aim
750.
It is 750.
What is that engine in? Anything else?
No.
It's a unique engine for that?
Yep.
Wow.
So it is aimed squarely.
How small can you go with the Africa Twin?
1100.
1100? That's as low?
Yeah. So it's an adventure bike for people who want that bridge between. I don't know. Would you call your 450 an adventure bike, Jim?
No. I mean,
the Rally Raid was.
The Rally Raid was. It had a windshield. It could do highway speeds. Yeah.
But it was,
Well, it would do 70, 75 miles
I mean,
an
the
hour,
Rally was like a 230?
It was a 250.
250.
But yeah, it was for.
And then there was kind of nothing until the Africa
DRZ.
Twin.
Well, the DRZ, it's still being produced.
No, I mean, we're talking Hondas.
Oh,
yeah.
Hondas, yeah.
Yeah, because the 450 is just pure dirt bikes.
There's the CB500X.
Right.
But that's not an adventure bike in America. It's not even really in Europe. It's just you can buy a kit to make it an adventure bike. You can buy the wheels. You can buy the forks.
Is this 750? Is this a parallel twin also?
Yes.
So it's just a bigger version of the 500?
Yes. Which leads us to the next piece of news, the new Hornet engine, which I suspect is very similar to that. Because I believe that is a parallel twin. And Honda have just announced the new Hornet engine, 745cc, and it looks, it's a multi-valve engine. It's making 95 horsepower, which is stout. The thing is, I've been through this argument before with people who've said, well, I had an FZ 750 in the 90s that made over 100 horsepower. And that is true. But the problem is, number one, that FZ was a fuel hog. Number two, from an emission standpoint, it was incredibly dirty. And number three, from a noise standpoint, it was very, very loud. And I'm not talking about exhaust noise. I'm talking about mechanical noise. And it simply wouldn't pass modern regulations. And right now, I mean, we're dealing with Euro 4 and Euro 5 noise regs. It's amazing that any engine can pass it. So I think when you factor all that in, the engines have got to be quiet. They've got to be very, very efficient. They've got to be, from an emission standpoint, they've got to be very, very clean. I think the Honda have managed to get 95 horsepower based on those parameters. And I've been told the torque curve's very, very flat. It's supposedly a very, very good engine.
Do you know if they're going to offer the DCT with either of these?
Probably. I mean, for Honda's futures, the DCT, right. They're buying into that big time. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't be surprised within the next 5 or 6 years. With a couple of exceptions, on smaller bikes, you're going to have a DCT option on everything. I think really Honda are bought into DCT in a big, big way. And from an emissions standpoint, because theoretically you're always in the right gear, you know, it gives you a little bit more push and little bit more leeway with emissions. So, yeah, watch this space.
Yeah.
And that's it for the news.
Hey, didn't McCarthy mention something about a new Honda Hawk 1100?
Well, yeah. So Mike,
with a sweet little fairing on the front.
So Mike is in the market for a new bike, and he wants a large sport tourer, just as you did, Jim.
Yeah.
But he doesn't particularly want the Suzuki, not for any reason, that he just wants something different. He's been looking at Versys 1000s, which is a great bike, and Ninja 1000s, that's a great bike. But he really likes this Hawk 1100.
It's a great looking bike.
It is
kind of retro-y, you know?
It's a superb looking machine.
Wow. It's almost got an MV Augusta front fairing.
It's got that feel to it. But right now, I don't think it's being sold in America.
Not in America, yeah.
And it's not being sold with luggage. So, you know, it might be a long shot. As I say, we always seem to get the last of everything, which is always surprising to me because we're such a big market. But there it is. You know, so
Honda, good news report.
Bring the Hawk 11 to us, please, with luggage.
All the things.
But hey, how about this? On to the main event. Ride report. Big ride report.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So this week's ride report is brought by the dog.
By the dog?
It was rough out there.
No, look at you, pupper.
So, the ride report, well, I'm going to pass it over, I guess, to you, John.
Right on.
Yeah, tell us all about it.
So, about, what has it been, about 3 weeks now. It took a while for us to get everybody together. We, Matt and I, hosted a trip up to Mendocino National Forest in kind of northern California, north of Clear Lake. We've talked about this in the past, but when you say Mendocino, it's not the coast. This is an inland it's an inland place, and but uniquely it goes from essentially sea level up to 5,000-6,000 feet. So there's a huge variation of elevation and kind of flora and fauna based on that. So there was a group of, the 4 of us plus 2 more.
8 of us total.
Yeah, that went up, and it was dry camping and
dry humping.
Well, that happened on Jim's thing.
That was day 2.
So, what were you
Craig had
riding?
the big tent.
So we're going to go through each of you. What were you riding, John?
The mighty KLR.
What were you riding, Matt?
GS 1200.
What were you riding, Jim?
Africa Twinning.
And what were you riding, Craig?
A Husky FE 501.
Good bikes.
The trip was mainly for adventure bikes, but Craig is the
They made an exception.
Yeah,
Craig is the only person I know that can load a bike in a back of a truck that's lifted and not have to use a step. It is absolutely amazing. He's very tall.
Yeah. Yeah, he got to come because he had the truck so we could load like 30 gallons of water into the truck before we headed up there. Thank you for that. That was awesome.
We got good use out of that.
Yeah. But overall, it was an adventure motorcycle trip where we all load up all of our luggage on the bikes, bring it all out, including, firewood and water normally. But whenever there's a guy with a pickup, then we kind of give him all the hard shit at the grocery store.
That's right.
It was a cool start, though, too, man. Where did we met up at the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah,
right?
A nice little
start the trip.
Little windy trip up through the Lake Napa areas. Got some wine country,
like the wine trail. We were on the Silverado Trail or something like that.
Yeah,
but I was
right,
like
we were.
going just starting the day, going over the Golden Gate Bridge. You're like, it's definitely a feeling of adventure, and it was cool meeting those other people and leaving from there. But yeah, wine country was beautiful.
Yeah,
I don't go through there much.
Area.
Yeah, it was cool roads.
A little tricky too because you can get really stuck in a lot of traffic going through wine country.
Yeah,
Hopland.
Lunch in Hopland.
That was
Found a
nice.
nice little
what a cute town
area.
that was. Yeah,
Never been there before.
Yeah.
Oh,
world
yeah,
famous sausage.
Hopland, yeah, that's Garberville way, isn't it? Sort of on that little stretch of 101.
It's on the stretch of 101 that drops you down to like 35 miles an hour. There's some restaurants and shops right off the highway there.
I remember that neck of the woods quite well.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So we went up. We drove through Covello, which is interesting because it's an Indian reservation, and usually we stop there for gas and such.
It's kind of like the last chance for stuff, like water, which was awesome. But yeah,
So this is going to be interesting, really, for our European listeners. So how does one know that you're on an Indian reservation?
Well, there's signs everywhere.
Right.
But other than the signs that are
kind
of vague, you really don't know. I mean,
well, what I'll say is when you go into there's two convenience stores. One's a little smaller. When you go to the bigger one that's next to the casino, and you go in there, everyone that works in there looks distinctly Native American.
Right.
So you kind of piece it together. There's like you said, there's signs you can kind of see. There's little hints. But you do kind of see it in some of the people around there.
Generally, everybody that's looking at you doesn't want you there.
Yeah,
you're in an Indian reservation.
Yeah. That and they're just those like militant hippies growing weed up in the mountains. you don't know what's going through their minds.
Yeah, that's the trip about that area is if, there's legal grows and then there's illegal grows, and you got to sort of watch, you got to dodge those illegal grows because people can get kind of testy if you go near their.
Well, I've seen signs where, like, when you go to the ranger station, where it's like, if you see a bear, do this, blah blah blah. But I've seen them if you come up on an illegal grow. Here's what you do. Here's what you do is you don't take out your cell phone. So they're like, first, stop. Second, do not take out your cell phone. Third, turn around and go back the way you came. But where we were, it's considered part of the Emerald Triangle, and so there's a lot of weed growing up there. And like the weeds competing with wine grapes, which is interesting. But but nobody's looking for trouble as long as you stay on marked roads and all, which you should anyway. It's fine. No one's looking for a problem. But yeah, you don't want to go wander off on that unmarked road that goes up into somewhere you have no clue for a couple of miles.
Well, and there's so many miles of trails up there.
Dude,
they go nowhere. People haven't been on them in years, so they're, it could be pretty easy to get an illegal grow up there.
Yeah, Craig found some of that stuff. But anyway, it was cool. So it took us how long of a ride? How many hours was it getting up there?
Better part of the day. I mean, maybe 4 or 5 hours to get up there, not including stopping for lunch. And then once you're through Covello, when you start working your way up into the elevation, past I think our camp was at
5,000,
just over 5,000, I think,
55, something like that. So nice, cool evening.
Cooled off because it was hot down the valley.
The weather, the campsite was great.
Beautiful.
Mosquitoes weren't too bad. We had found this beautiful little spot right off the main road. No people up there.
Yeah, nobody.
It was incredible.
Maybe 2 cars passed the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's talk about the riding. So, Craig had a different kind of, he took his dirt bike out and did some stuff that the rest of us didn't do. But what about the riding, you all?
It was cool. I mean, it's like a lot of the Sierras, it's a lot of hard pack. It's various hard packed dirt and rocks,
Yeah.
But I liked it because, some of it was maintained, some of it not so much. So the variety I thought was pretty good. It's different with the big bikes. You kind of got to keep things in check a little bit, but at the same time, as you get more comfortable on the big bikes, letting them get loose in the dirt is a lot of fun. You get up into 3rd, 4th gear, and you get these big sweepers where you can break the rear end loose and kind of act like you know what you're doing. So it was a lot of fun. A lot of it was grinding too, though. It was just like a lot. It was hot in some spots and washboard, but it was a nice variety. I thought the views were great. Views from the campsite were bomb, across the valley. And then we went down to Lake Pillsbury. trying to remember all chronologically, and then just again, amazing views up from 5,000 feet, looking down on this lake. Probably.
Yeah, I mean the riding's tricky because it's when you're bringing a group up there with different levels of skills. You don't want to go too hairy right out of the gate. You want to mainly keep most of the main road action to be pretty operable. But it's really easy to get off on some of these side trails, and you'll find. I mean, it's mainly all 2-track, but you'll see a creek going through the road, which then gives you some water crossings or mud, and then there's, depending on how well the trail's been maintained, then there might be a lot of different obstacles that are coming up. But it's a lot of fun on those main roads. You can get a lot of speed going, and then down at the technical low speed.
Thinking about the group, I mean, you had kind of like a very eclectic bunch of bikes. I mean, it's not so much rider skill. You two are on the monsters. John's probably, for want of a better term, on the tamest of the bunch, and you're on an outright race bike.
And then we had 4 paying customers on top of that were on.
There was a Funduro, wasn't there? A Funduro, another GS,
a couple GSs, and
a brand new KTM Adventure,
a GS 650. There was a GS 1200 Adventure,
and a KTM. The brand new one.
And 2 KTMs, right?
Those are 2 KTMs?
Yeah.
How did the new KTMs do?
Well, we got a story about him.
He did great. So this was a couple and then a friend of theirs. There's 3 of them that just took the rawhide course. So they have plenty of riding experience, but no off-road, no adventure. So they took the rawhide course, bought adventure bikes, and this was their first trip out.
So she's on the
she's
Funduro?
on a 650 GS.
Okay.
Her partner was on a 1200 GSA, and then their friend was on a 1290 KTM.
Yep.
Okay.
And I think the guy on the 1290, they were all pretty evenly experienced. The guy on the 1290, I think, was just a tad more on the timid side.
Yeah.
And we were going through. Well, it was kind of a big day.
Yeah, let's talk about that day, really, that whole ride.
Epic day.
It was a big day, yeah, lots of lessons learned that day. It went from what was normally supposed to be about a 200-mile ride day, and what did we end up with that?
I did 900 the whole weekend, so that day alone I think was 250 at least.
Yeah, at least, if not upwards towards 3.
And put that into perspective, on the street, you're doing 250-mile day, big deal.
Yeah, this is all
But
going...
in the dirt, that is a big day.
And it was hot.
It's a big day.
It's a big day. You don't necessarily know where you're going. Friday was a guided ride around roads that John and I had been down. We knew where they ended up. We knew what went through, what didn't go through. Saturday was a little bit more exploration day where we let our hair down and decided to hit some trails that we weren't so sure about. But the funny thing happens is once you turn on that Garmin, there's trails, and the Garmin recognizes them as trails. But you can't think about it that way because that doesn't mean
it was a trail at one time.
Yes. 150 years ago, someone made that trail. But you can get down these trails for hours and hours, and you're only averaging about 40, 50 miles at most of the time.
Well, that one we were on, when we were going 5 to 10.
5 to 10, yeah. So it's an amazing how little you can get accomplished when you're on adventure bikes in a big area like Mendocino National Forest.
Well, it's easy to get turned around, too.
Right.
Well, what happened? So we all went all the way to lunch, and then we were coming back, and some of the roads were a little janky. We wanted to try something different.
Well, before that, at lunch, I told everybody that I was going to take them back on the easy way.
Right.
So that we'd get back to camp on time, no issues, because it was the second day, and we were all a little on the tired side. And it's
not a place where you want to get stuck in dark, for the most part.
Right.
No.
So I said that. We get back on the road, and then we just basically threw that out the window. And I let the devil on my shoulder say, "Hey, let's take this route." And honestly, it was a blast. So we off this main road. This main road just wasn't as much fun. And Jim, you actually took that full road back.
Yeah, I did. Well, me and Craig didn't join you guys. We kind of did our own thing that day. And then I thought I could go down, meet you guys in whatever town that was down there. But it went from a beautiful like 73 degrees up at 5,000 feet to like fucking 105.
Exactly.
So I just happened to run into you guys down there, and they're like, "You guys are going for tacos," and I'm like, "No, dude, I got to go back up in elevation ASAP." But I thought I was going to be able to loop back around to get back and hook back up with Craig, but I couldn't. So I just took that one because it was getting late, and I'm like, I just want to haul ass back. So yeah, I took that one main road the whole way back.
And then we were on that same main road, and then also saw another trail. Like, wow, maybe this will go through. And so we were on there for a good 3 hours, I'd say.
Well, and you started messaging me, hey, we'll be back like around 5 or 6. And me and Craig are like, all right, cool.
So we get down. It's a lot of switchbacks. We finally get down to the bottom. There's 3 creek crossings, all manageable, but still on big bikes. And if you're uncomfortable with it, it can be tough. Like I've been with you guys out when we were near Lake Tahoe, and that was a big creek crossing that I went down on my adventure bike. This one was much easier. So we had no problem getting across them. We started going back up the other side of the mountain. And as
the crow flies, we were like 3 or 4 miles from camp, right?
Right.
Crazy.
Right. But we just couldn't quite get our bikes up over that last hill. And so we literally turned around at after 4, right?
Yeah, it was late.
3, 4. It was one of those times, yeah.
And Matt and I started to freak out because we're like, we got to get these people back safe.
Right.
You know, it's like the tension started to rise.
Peace. Everything's running through my brain in terms of, these rides where everything's fun and games until you have lunch. And then after lunch, people start crashing. Yep. And it's just one person goes down, the other people start going down. And so we're on our way back, and I went down just target fixating on a ditch, and then...
Yeah, you start getting tired.
Yeah. And that was right before we were going back over one of these creek crossings. And so, whatever, I'm back on the bike. We're going across, and this guy on the 1290, instead of going across the creek, he literally just sends his bike down the creek. And it's kind of hard to describe on the podcast, obviously, but there's, kind of walls on either side of this creek. And so, the top of his windshield wasn't too far off from where the trail was. Outside on top of the creek. So anyway, took one of us on the bike and then 2 on each side to get the bike out of there. We did not have to get the toe straps out.
That's the picture right there. Sorry, y'all can't see
everybody wet.
Yeah, that was a good one. So that was a little bit of an oh shit moment. But once we got out of there and we started making it back up across, we ate up some time, and without that happening, we wouldn't have seen the most amazing sunset riding back.
Incredible. Yeah.
None of us would have had the experience of seeing the full-on stars in a completely dark sky. Yeah. And also learn what those big-eared rabbits do when you're riding behind them.
Rabbits. Those suicidal rabbits.
They just start chasing their shadow. And
you guys didn't get any of those?
No.
They start. So they jump in front of you. Yeah. So you're cruising down, and these are on the big road. So you're doing 30, 40. And those guys will just go fly out, and they'll start going like right in front of your headlight.
That's
and
wild.
They're going back and forth, and you're like, oh shit, I don't want to kill this rabbit.
I've had turkeys do that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How funny.
But no, the terrain was great. Obviously the scenery was just epic. I think overall there was very little issues. One person had 2 punctured tires, but we have he had a inflator with him, and so
tubeless, so he was able to just patch it, and
no other
plug it. And off he goes.
Obviously, no injuries, which is great. No other
that's the big one.
No other issues, and just a great group. Really fun group.
And fun experiences. Like we ended up in that. What was the little town with the store with the cats all over the place that you wouldn't eat the food?
Oh, that's by Lake Pillsbury.
Literally the only store at Lake Pillsbury to get gas or any type of food, and and they got cats sleeping on the counter right next to the microwave.
And what exactly is wrong with that?
I thought it was great.
I mean, it's fine.
That's like, I'm not eating that food.
There's no mice around there, that's for sure.
So, as the person with the bike with the dirtiest chops, as it were, what did you make of this whole thing, Craig?
It was incredible. So on Saturday, I kind of took off and then just headed up into elevation off where there wasn't any trail, just doing some hill climbs just straight on the mountainside and trying to get a little lost. But I always kept the GPS going, so I knew where the trails were kind of behind me. And it was just amazing. I got up on these vistas and these bluffs overlooking the whole Mendocino Valley, and it was just an awesome experience. I got to test out because it's a recent bike for me. Only 4 or 5 months I've had it, so still getting acquainted, and I was able to test out weight distribution, kind of gearing on these hill climbs. And it was awesome. I would definitely go back there. I'd recommend Mendocino National Forest moto camping to anyone out there.
Well, you know, if you've never been to Northern California, it is an amazing place. It really is. Once you get north of,
Marin at least.
Yeah, Novato.
Yep.
Once you're north of Novato and north of Marin, and Marin's beautiful in its it. You know, a lot of people say Marin County is one of the most beautiful counties in the country. And, you know, I'd put it up there. I mean, it's gorgeous, but, I mean, it's just so crushingly expensive. And you get very interesting people up there because of that. Yeah. But once you actually get away from north of Marin and sort of the whole Cloverdale, Hopland, Willits...
Yeah,
Willits is an interesting little town.
Willits, yeah.
But it is the countryside is just drop dead gorgeous. Yeah. And the weather patterns are amazing. You get 4 seasons in a day.
Well, and so the riding up there is incredible, but it's kind of 50-50, the experience at the camp and sleeping under the stars and being able to do all of this off of a motorcycle.
Right.
And sometimes have a friend with a pickup truck too. But,
right.
But I mean, that's really, if you're working 9 to 5 in the city and you make it out camping like once a year with your family or your friends, that's not quite what this is.
No.
This is you're.
Yeah. So I mean,
well, here's something.
I was going to say, this is your pitch, Matt. This is your job. This is who you are and what you do. So, sell us on a breaking away motorcycle adventure.
Well, I think that's part of it is the experience that you're getting out of it is not a normal campground experience. We're generally going to find somewhere dispersed or really off the beaten path where it's going to be a bit of dry camping and learning how to...
Got to poop in a hole.
Learn how to poop in a hole. But, if pooping in a hole is like the worst of your problems, then that's a pretty good weekend. So, it's very remote. There's not many people around. You're with like-minded individuals. And, I've done a dozen of these events, and you're meeting new people every single time. And I couldn't tell you a single trip where I was like, I couldn't stand it because of this one guy or this clash in personality. It's never like that. And so it's really taken a lot of people that are fish out of water that spend most of their time riding around the cities and on pavement and getting them out in the middle of nowhere and getting some experience on big adventure bikes.
So let's say Miss Emma decided to sign up for a breaking away motorcycle adventure.
I like that idea.
Well, no, just hold on now. So my idea of
you can ride my KLR if you want.
My idea of camping is while staying at the Hilton to call down for room service. And so can you send the champers and caviar up to the penthouse suite, please?
No, but if you're nice to Hotshot, he might bring some champagne to the campsite for you.
Right. So, I mean, I'm going to be sleeping on the ground.
Yeah.
Nah, but then it's all... So you know how it is as a motorcyclist. It's all about the gear.
Right.
You're always upgrading your gear. It's the same thing with camping. Yep. It's just another aspect of gear that you kind of roll into.
And I mean, you offer lessons in how to dig a hole and poop in it and all those things.
Visual aids and everything. Yes.
with arrows, yes. I'm going to give you a demonstration.
Yes, demonstrations.
Circle around.
No, yeah, but there's, besides tips on where to get started with the right types of gear and how to get started on these things, I have that all on my website, breakingawaytrips.com. But also, overall, we kind of shelter you through the entire process.
Right. Well, I think what it seemed to do for people, it's people looking for community. Dogs digging up the ocean. But it's like...
just licking her ass.
Yeah, I would too if I could. But it's people looking for community, right? They're new to to the adventure riding thing, and they're just trying to demystify it is what it does. And after you spend 2-3 nights with a group of people that have done it before, it demystifies it.
Right.
And then you know what you're in for. But what I think really spoke to what is great about Matt's tours is, so the night that they got a little turned around, me and Craig are back at the campsite. We got a ton of riding in. I want to talk more about the riding he was doing because it was pretty neat. But we're already playing, camp games, we'll call them. Don't ask what that is.
No, I already saw the pictures.
Something.
All I know is there are like these snake skins laying around, and I don't know what they're about.
The Jizzax. That would be my new band name, Jizzax. I like it. But we were already hanging out and having a good time, and you kept in touch with the Garmin. So I knew that but you get back till it was dark.
9:30.
Oh yeah, it was late.
Yeah, and I was like, they have to be exhausted.
So wait. So even though you're in this kind of cohesive group, you're encouraging people to go off onto their own little groups during the day, or
so good question. Yes and no. This trip I would say is a hybrid, but I think most of these trips end up this way, where I'll have a core of people that I've never met that signed up for the group. And then I have Jim and Craig. Or I have a couple of guys that want to go and they don't necessarily want to spend all their time with the group. Or like with Craig, he's on a 501. We're all on these big clunky adventure bikes. Yeah. So it's not going to make much sense for him to want to follow us around.
And Craig's a way better rider, too.
And guys like Jim that want to do a little bit with us and a little bit of his own thing, too. So it works out. So like if you're signing up for the group, then no, you can't just go off on your own. But if you're coming along and there's a discussion like, hey, you're on your own if shit goes down.
Yeah. You keep it real, that's for sure.
But also, that's the nice thing too, is the trust is built up real quick. Like you, me, and John, we all have Garmin's. We all know exactly the gear we do have and don't have. There's a lot of extra tools and extra safety equipment and get us out of oh shit moments. So
what I thought was awesome about that night, so me and Craig, we invented a game. It was called Axe Bocce. So we're using an axe and glow sticks as our target. So we're throwing the axe to see and get closest to the glow sticks that we throw around in the woods. And then we realized, man, these guys are going to come back in dark. It's going to be exhausted. There's no fucking way they're going to see.
I'm so glad you guys did that. Yeah.
But there's no way they're going to see the turnoff to where the campsite is, right? Because I know I wouldn't. So we started playing our axe game down on the road, but it was perfect. I don't know what it looked like when you guys came in, but we ended up grabbing the glow sticks and like doing a landing pattern.
Oh, it was perfect.
Where the road was.
At first, I thought it was like the police were there and something was fucked up.
Oh, shit. But everybody...
No, that was a good look. That was definitely a good call.
But I say that to say this. When everyone came back, I thought they were going to be exhausted and maybe a little pissed and like whatever. They were so stoked. Everyone was like, that was great. That was so fun. Yeah. And like, oh my gosh, they had such a good time.
Well, and that's the thing. It's
adventuring.
It's adventuring, right? Think about the last vacation you took with your significant other, all the things that go wrong between the hotels and airports and just trying to get to the place where you're going.
It's just complicated.
By the time you get there, you're exhausted and everything. Yeah. Well, on this kind of trip, the same guy that sent his KTM down the ravine, he also had he lost his key to his top box with half of his shit was in the top box.
Right.
And you think about something like that and how that would ruin most trips. But it ended up being something kind of funny, and then we all joked around about each night. And
he figured it out.
We figured it out, and it probably wasn't the end of the world. And
did you all lend him your underpants?
We were just all naked to make him feel better about it.
Okay.
But I will say once again, always stop and talk to people. So when we were talking to those people at the store with the cats, who were lovely, they had a freezer full of Costco food that you could microwave. And Choco Tacos. So it was top of the list.
That's all you need right
there. Oh, God,
I
thought you were going to say they had a freezer full of cat carcasses.
Oh, they might. That's probably somewhere else.
That's the freezer in the other
If it was only cat carcasses, I'd be surprised.
And but we're chatting with him, and Matt had made plans to go swim in the Lake Pillsbury, which sounded cool. And then this dude was like, the guy, he had no shirt. Most everybody's missing teeth. Had like some sort of beard. He had a rattlesnake rattle for an earring, and he's probably like late 60s.
And big old knife on his belt.
Yeah, and nice as could be. And we're chatting with him, and but he hooked us up after we asked him a little bit with this killer swimming spot on a river that was like 2 minutes away. Yeah, so stop and talk to people. You get good tips. Right. And that was probably some of the most challenging riding for the group may have been getting down to the river.
Yeah, just that quarter mile to get down there. But also that's part of it. I mean, it's so cliche when we all say it a million times a weekend, but it is an adventure. And as much as we plan ahead, the different routes and things you can take. I mean, there's a lot of things that just happen.
But when we plunged in the river,
that thing was epic.
It was well worth it.
It was epic.
So, I mean, the obvious question is this, Matt. You said you had paying customers. So how much would a trip like this cost, and where can people find trips like this?
The costs vary. We John and I are on the trips that we're partying for, including one coming up here for the Misfits in November. we're going to be offering different tiered levels of service.
Right.
So, some remote areas, it's hard to get water, hard to get fuel, hard to get food up there.
And you're going to provide all that if we need it.
Provide those if you need it. If you're more of an experienced adventurer and you just want to kind of join along, there's different prices for that that are very affordable.
I always think for these trips, a good place to be is in the kind of middle ground.
Right.
And then you know that there's going to be more expensive options. You know there's going to be cheaper options. So what would a long weekend with Breakaway Adventures cost? You have to provide your own bike, of course.
You got to bring your own bike, your own gear, and depending on what kind of level of food and and everything else. So it really depends. I mean, I couldn't give you one solid price, but if you're looking for kind of the full feed us, fuel us, water us package, guide us, maybe $300-400 for a weekend.
So I mean, it's an affordable, and if you're getting
very accessible.
It's probably more affordable than it needs to be.
Yeah.
I try to make it affordable for guys that are not near in retirement that want to do this stuff now while they can.
Right.
Or I guess people, not just guys and gals.
Peoples. Peoplers. And I should point out, I mean, very much like me, we have a lot of people in the motorcycle industry in this room right now. And I think each of us have our own reasons for doing it. But it's all based out of love for the sport.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, one of the coolest things about Matt and Breaking Away is one of the clients were, Matt, why do you do this? And he said, well, I just love to show people cool shit.
Yeah.
And when it comes from that amazing place and like that much heart into it, you can't help but have a good time on Breaking Away tours because it's just pretty much a guaranteed amazing time with amazing people. You're going to get into some shit that you probably wouldn't even have thought about when you try to plan, because you know how sometimes you try to project what a trip's going to be like. You might as well throw all that out the window, and that's what makes it so special, I think.
And you know what? Oh, sorry, Jim. Go ahead.
Oh, let's get back to Craig. Then the experience is like Matt. It's kind of like create your own thing, because we rode with a group a little bit, and then me and Craig's like, hey, we're going to go a little faster, a little more technical. So we were able to break away from the group and made our own little adventure. And then Craig even took it to another level because he was on the dirt bike. But once you get back in there, and Matt kind of shows you where to be, then you can explore from there. And you found some killer trails that were all grown over, and you had to kind of pick your way. What was that? Was that little mountain that we were? I chickened out because we weren't together at the time. He did the whole loop, but I chickened out because it was so grown over.
It was incredible back there. People hadn't been back there in, it seemed, since like 1850.
It almost gets a little creepy, right?
It gets real creepy.
There's some trails where the growth is just so high, you don't see any signs of
there. Well, at first when I started, I was like, wow, I can't wait to tell Matt about this, because maybe this would be one he'd want to offer with the adventure tour bikes. And then real quick, it was like, never mind.
Yeah.
You couldn't even see the trail. It was like, became almost less than single track. You couldn't even, it was so overgrown. You literally couldn't even see where your tire was going. But that was fun for the dirt bikes, but obviously the big bikes would have had some issues back there.
But I think the point I was trying to make is Matt is a legit motorbike guy. Craig is a legit motorbike guy. I'm a legit motorbike gal, and Jim's got his finger up his nose. We're each doing what we do based out of love of the sport. And yeah, of course there's money involved. I mean, I need money to keep the doors open. You need money to organize these adventures. And Craig needs money to offer the level of training he does. But that's not the primary motivation. The money keeps things going. What actually makes all of these things great, and funnily enough, I operate Motortown exactly the same as you. I want to show people cool shit. It's just the love of being around motorcycles and the people who ride them.
Yeah.
I think it's the greatest thing.
I think the best way to cap that off, it's breakingawaytrips.com, by the way, is trying to find just that streamlined, let's join a ride. I know how to ride. I have my own stuff. I'm not an expert. I just want to find some cool people to hang out with, maybe get a few tips, get a little better at it, and see some great areas. That they're really just experience trips that just happen to be on motorcycles, because that's the best way to do it.
So Breaking Away
Motorcycle Adventures, breakingawaytrips.com. And we're on Facebook, Breaking Away Motorcycle Adventures.
You're on the
Instagram.
Book of Faces, Instantgram.
At Breaking Away Trips.
Okay. Anywhere else people can find you? Well, that's pretty good, isn't it?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Craig, how can people find out about Pacific Motorcycle Training? Because you may be listening to this and you're an experienced motorcyclist. You may be listening to this and thinking, I don't need training, but you may have a sweetie who does. You may have a son or a daughter who wants motorcycle training. Let me tell you, it is the best, the greatest gift of all. Christmas gift, birthday gift, couple of days motorcycle training. Fall in love with these things. How do people find out about Pacific Motorcycle Training?
Yeah, we offer beginner, intermediate, and advanced classes. No matter what your experience is, anyone can always benefit from some more training at pacificmotorcycletraining.com. We have 4 locations: San Bruno, South San Francisco, Livermore, and Salinas. And we offer a wide variety of classes at the multiple locations. So come out, you get to play with some motorcycles with us, pacificmotorcycletraining.com.
And as an experienced motorcyclist, can I sign up and do a parade lap of Laguna Seca with you guys?
You can.
What?
You can, yes. We locked in a contract with WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, and we're hopefully going to be able to offer it multiple times this year for the first time ever. So we're hoping to have a spring fling in the spring where we have 3 days of training at Laguna Seca, the world famous track. You get to ride on the track and cross that off your bucket list. And then hopefully we'll do our summer big event as well, the week-long motorcycle extravaganza. And we look forward to being out at Laguna Seca. Those guys are always great out there.
Well, the last one you did out at Laguna Seca, everybody was happily sitting in a group, and you had a surprise guest on a purple and yellow Suzuki, didn't you?
That's right. That's right.
Look at that, it's Miss Emma!
The Misfits came through to support us. And
say hello. And it's a great group, and everyone was having a good time. So, motorbike shit. What do you make of all this, Bagel? What do you make of all this? Would you strap a pair of knobbies on a scooter and put a backpack on it and go riding out into the woods? Would you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
The question is, can you get 20 other people to do it?
I think you probably could. Well, scooter people are quirky. They like stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think the number of people who have a scooter that's capable of riding on trails in the woods is pretty limited. But there are probably enough people who are interested. I know at least one other person who has one who I just happened to run into at the scooter rally the weekend a couple weeks ago. So
I would love to see that. That would be incredible.
Oh, you see the Italian off-road scooter rallying. It's amazing. That dog is trying to dig a hole in the rug again. There must be something mighty nice and smelly underneath it.
She gets her frustration out.
Yeah, that's where the Mormon gold's been.
It is clear. So,
seeing stones.
The seeing stones are down there.
So I hate to provide very poor value for our listeners this week, but we are doing a shortened show because, of course, Liza's not here. And it's never the same, darling.
No.
But I think we have time for at least one email.
We do. We have one email.
Oh, yeah. John.
So this is from Brett. He sent an email.
Is it Brett
Hello,
or
Brett.
Brent?
Brett.
Brett Sinclair. Private Eye.
So he sent an email in before, so it's a follow-up to a previous email that, that he had sent to you. So
righty-o.
Says, hi, Miss Emma.
So the first one
it's
work.
to me.
Yes. Thanks a lot for answering my question, but I think... Oh, I'm sorry. The title of this is Old English Fish and Chips Oil Pressure.
Right.
So thanks for answering my question, but I think the idea of all the Woody dolls in various trousers might have clouded your thinking. Perhaps you were seeing sludge tubes everywhere. He's referring to a joke thing that we went through.
Yes.
I understand that there are only 5 places where oil pressure can leak out of a Bonneville oil system. The crank oil seal,
yes.
The cam follower feed,
yes,
if it has one, big ends, bad OPRV, or a bad pump.
Yes, and I mean, there are a variety of places. I think the point I was trying to make, if you have a a Bonneville that's making bad oil pressure, you're going to strip it down, pull the sludge trap. You're never going to pull cases off, because here's what happened.
Let me finish this before we get too far into this. So I've checked the OPRV, replaced the oil pump and the crank oil seal.
Yes,
but the pressure's still low. This has me thinking it must be the big ends. So I was wondering, is it true that the twins can create their own oil pressure for the big ends from the spinning crank as long as the oil pump is delivering enough volume? Why the hell is the low oil pressure light set for 3 psi? Why do you think the downside is with such low oil pressure? Will the big end seize and come out of the crankcases, or I just developed some big end knock? Thanks so much, your humble servant, Brett.
Oh, Brett. So let's talk about big end rumbling. So yeah, I mean, in an ideal situation, a Bonneville should be making at least 50 psi of oil pressure, maybe more, always measured above 3,000 RPM. Now, if you read a factory service manual for a Bonneville, they only give one setting, 3,000 RPM. You set your timing at 3,000 RPM, full advance. You look at your oil pressure at 3,000 RPM, and it should be about 50. So, yeah, there are various places where oil can leak out. And the big ends are one of them. If they were that baggy, you would hear them. You see, the way big ends work, you have aluminum rod bearings with steel caps on the ends, and these very, very soft metal shells which comprise the big end. And it's a white metal on copper on a steel back. And I think you would hear them rumble if they were that baggy. But they're certainly not going to drop. Where you would hear them the most is if you're really loading the engine. So if you're like at about, 2,000-3,000 RPM and you roll it on in a high gear, you'd hear them go, you'd hear that real grumble from the bottom end.
I was on grumble from my bottom end earlier.
Yeah, no, I heard you grumble from your bottom end. I think actually Matt gets the prize.
Oh, he does.
He's God almighty, that was a supreme effort.
His bottom end's always rumbling.
Yeah. There's always a couple of schools of thought. I mean, you like these engines to be perfect, but also don't fix what ain't broke. And if you've got a Bonneville that is running well and sounds good and is making good power and is only making 30 psi oil pressure, just run it. Yeah. You're not going to suffer from a spectacular failure. And the key is it will give you plenty of warning. That's the thing is with Triumph engines. BSAs were always a bit less forgiving.
But he said 3 psi.
No, he said the oil pressure is set at 3 psi. The oil pressure light is set at 3 psi. And I hope he's just not relying on the light, because the pressure senders themselves can fail. So I wouldn't worry too much about it, to be honest with you. I really wouldn't.
Well, there you go. Brett, hopefully that helped you.
Yeah, don't overthink it. If it's making oil pressure, if it sounds good, if it runs good, and when you change the oil, it's not full of metallic, just enjoy it. These essentially they're very, very simple bikes, and they were built to withstand quite a bit of abuse from ham-fisted English boys and girls. So there it is. Tra-la-la. Keep us posted with that one, Brett. Absolutely. So, what do you think? Hour and 10-minute show. It's short, but it's not crushingly short.
I like the new format. I hear we're sticking with this.
I think
what Liza don't know won't hurt her.
Yes, well, I was going to say
for another week, maybe.
I think Liza's going to have something to say about this, but we'll face that bridge when we come to it. Bagel, is there anything you would like to share, darling?
I guess I should share that my title woes with my CT70 have been resolved.
Huzzah and thrice huzzah!
Yes.
So you're now a motorbike owner, officially?
Yes, I am officially a proper motorbike owner.
Well, you need to get rid of all those bloody scooters now, don't you?
Oh, no. No. That will never happen. But I do have plans for the CT70. I do want to put the CT110 engine in it and make it the mini Trail 110 that never was.
I think that's splendid.
But should have been.
I sold you that CT110, didn't I, many years ago?
Yes, you did. And I knew that there was something that I could do with that, and this is it.
And the reason that CT110 had a 1 year only 6-volt electronic ignition system that had failed. No parts available, no nothing. So it's a perfect candidate for a swap.
Yeah. I'll find some nice new electronic ignition system for it. That'll be nice and reliable.
Yes. Well, good job, Bagel. I am absolutely thrilled, darling. I really am.
Thank you. And also we should also report that Liza and the Chickistan crew have safely landed in Pakistan, and they are starting their journey.
Yeah, the last I saw, they were doing snake handling.
What?
Yes, apparently.
Yeah, they were doing lion petting too.
Snakes.
Oh my.
Yeah, lion petting, snake handling, and wearing of traditional vestments. It is the only time I have ever seen Liza dressed as a girl. Ever.
That's true. She bought the Pakistan. Yep.
Yeah, they went to the Wagah border ceremony as well.
Oh, fantastic!
That's a good time.
Is that the one with India where they march all crazy?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yep, with the Ministry of Silly Marks, high kicks, and all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
totally.
Now this is a
good Monty Python reference.
This is a daily ceremony, isn't it?
It is. Rain or
every
shine.
day.
Yeah,
every day.
Fantastic! Yep. I love it. I love nutty stuff like that.
Yeah, and it looks like they've got a great crew for their trip. So we wish them well, and I hope they have a fantastic journey.
So we've got another couple of these shows to fill. Liza is going to be away
2 more weeks.
2 more weeks. So send us some emails because we love talking about stuff that you guys come up with.
And you can send that to recyclemotorcyclegarage@gmail.com.
And if you have any other complaints about John's behavior,
Phil@clevelandmotor.com.
Yes. The complaints department is Phil@clevelandmoto.com.
And reference Matt's flatulence when you send that email to Phil.
All right, they're hotshot.
And if you want to if you want to complain about Matt's flatulence, if you want to include a recording of your own, please do so we can make the comparison.
To Phil or to
No, to Phil.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think Phil would be more than happy listening to other people's flatulence over the email all day, every day. We love you, Phil. We love you, Unky Phil. So I think that's it.
So, hey, thanks to our Patreon subscribers for continuing to support us.
Who are easily the finest of humanity.
In the world.
Finest that humanity has to offer. You were all on a pedestal watching the remainder of the human race just go by. So keep it up. Because it's the Patreon subscribers that keep us going, really.
Yep.
No Patreon, no misfits.
No flatulence.
Thanks to Matt for being an all-round good motorbike guy and doing.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And remind us once again, you work for Law Tigers.
Rawr.
They're great. And Craig, PacificMotorcycleTraining.com.
Thank you all.
Yeah,
Good
you're welcome.
evening.
So, I think that's it. So, this is Emma Darling.
This is the furry champion of the world.
This is the stump of love.
Craig.
Make a gem, son.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.